तो आज से स्टार्ट हो रही है हमारी ज्योग्राफी। तो आज हम लोग स्टार्ट करेंगे अपना चैप्टर 1 ज्योग्राफी का। द यूनिवर्स, द वास्ट स्पेस सराउंडिंग अस इन इज कॉल्ड यूनिवर्स। It is the mostly empty space. The universe includes everything that exists, the most distant stars, planets, satellites, as well as our own Earth and all the object on it. Nobody know how big the universe is or whether it has any limits. However, it is estimated that the universe contain 100 billions galaxies, each of which comprises 100 billion stars. The sun, which sustains all the lives on our planet, is only one of the one billions and billions of stars that exist in this universe, whereas the planet Earth on which we live is only a tiny speaks in the vast space called universe. The Earth is one of the eight planets, all of which revolve around a center star called the Sun. The billion stars which exist in the universe are not distributed uniformly in space. These stars occurs in the form of cluster or group of billions of stars called galaxies. Thus, in order to study the constitution of the universe of this universe, we have to first discuss the uh, object like galaxies, stars, planets, and satellite etc., which are found in the universe. Now, we start our second topic: origin of the universe. The most popular argument regarding the origin of the universe is the Big Bang theory. It is also called expanding universe hypothesis. Edwin Hubble in 1920s provided evidence that the universe is expanding as time passes. The galaxy move further and further apart. The distance between the galaxies is found to be increasing, and thereby the universe is considered to be expanding. Expanding as time passes, the galaxy moves the distance increasing continues. Expand here, the expansion of the universe means increasing in space between the galaxies. However, scientists believe that though the space between the galaxies is increasing, observations do not support the expansion of galaxies in itself. An alternative to this way holds concept of steady state is considered the universe to be roughly the same at any point of time. It did not have a beginning and did not have an end. However, with great evidence become available about the expanding universe, scientific community at present favors argument of expanding universe. F- Stages in Big Bang Theory. First, in the beginning, all the matter forming the universe existed in one place and in the form of tiny ball singular atom with an unimaginably small volume, infinite temperature, and infinite density. Second, at the Big Bang, the tiny ball exploded violently. This led to a huge expansion. It is now generally accepted that the event of Big Bang took place about 300 13.7 billion year before the present. The expansion continues even to the present day. As it grows, some energy was converted into matter. There was a particularly rapid expansion with fractions of seconds after the bang. Thereafter, the expansion has slowed down. Within the first 3 minutes from the Big Bang event, the first atom began to form within सॉरी ये थर्ड ये इसका हेडिंग है ये विदिन 300,000 years from the Big Bang, temperature dropped to 4,500 K and give rise to atomic matter. The universe become transparent. एविडेंसेस इन सपोर्ट ऑफ बिग बैंग थ्योरी। हियर एक ब्रैकेट दिया गया है जिसमें दो कॉलम है, एक में लिखा है इवेंट एविडेंस। तो पहले हम लोग एडवांस पढ़ेंगे, फिर पढ़ेंगे इसकी इंटरप्रिटेशन। द लाइट फ्रॉम द अदर गैलेक्सी इज रेड शिफ्टेड। अब इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन, द अदर गैलेक्सीज आर मूविंग अवे फ्रॉम अस। सेकेंड एविडेंस, द फर्दर अवे द गैलेक्सी द मोर इट्स लाइट इज रेड शिफ्टेड। इसकी इंटरप्रिटेशन होगी, द मोस्ट लाइकली explanation is that the whole universe is expanding. This supports the theory that the stars of the universe could have been from a single explosion. और इसका थर्ड दिया गया हमें कॉस्मिक माइक्रोवेव बैकग्राउंड, और इसका इंटरप्रिटेशन होगा, द रिलेटिवली यूनिफॉर्म बैकग्राउंड रेडिएशन इज द रिमेन ऑफ द एनर्जी क्रिएटेड जस्ट आफ्टर द बिग बैंग. According to the Nebular's hypothesis, the planet were found out of a cloud of material associated with the youthful sun, which was slowly rotating. The theory was given by the German philosopher Immanuel Kant, though he did not use the word nebular, and later revised the mathematician Laplace in 1796. You will learn about Kant in Moral Thinking, GS पेपर 4। तो मतलब GS पेपर 4 में इनके बारे में सुनने को मिलेगा ये। अब हम लोग पढ़ेंगे अपना टॉपिक नंबर 2, इसका इसी का सब टॉपिक होगा, वो होगा 2.1, द यूनिट ऑफ मेजरिंग डिस्टेंस इन द यूनिवर्स। Start. The extremely vast differences between the various heavenly bodies like the stars and planets can be expressed in terms of astronomical unit AU, light year, and parasec. And second, astronomical unit is defined as a mean distance from the Earth to the Sun. 1 AU is equal to 1.5 into 10 to power 8 kilometers. Light year is a distance traveled by the light in 1 year. It is equal to 9.46 into 10 to power 12 kilometer. Parasec. It represents the distance at which the radius of the Earth's orbit subtended an angle of 1 second of arc. Parsec equal about 3.26 light years of, or 13.9 trillion kilometers. Topic number third, galaxies. Galaxies are the building block of the universe. Galaxy is a vast system of billions of stars which are contain a large number of gas clouded mainly of hydrogen gas, where stars are born, and dust is isolated in the space from the similar system. Classification of galaxies. Galaxies are usually classified on the basis of their shapes are uh, and are of three types: first spherical, second elliptical, third irregular. Some of the brightest galaxies are elliptical galaxies, but spiral galaxies are usually much bigger than others. We live on the outer edge of the spiral type of galaxy called Milky Way. टॉपिक इसी का सब टॉपिक है ये हमारा 3.1, आवर गैलेक्सीज द मिल्की वे। इट इज़ अ स्पाइरल टाइप ऑफ गैलेक्सी। इट इज़ अबाउट 100,000 light years in diameter and has the disc-shaped structure. The Milky Way galaxy is rotating slowly about its center in the counterclockwise direction. All the stars, the sun, too, along the with the solar system rotate about the center of the Milky Way galaxy. The disk of star is quite thick at the center, representing a relatively high concentration of the stars at the center of the galaxy. The sun is far away from the center of the Milky Way galaxy. Since the Milky Way galaxy appears like a river of light in the night sky, running from one corner of the sky to the other, it is called the Akash Ganga. Stars are the heavenly bodies like the sun and the extremely hot and light and have light of their own. Stars are made up of vast cloud of hydrogen gas, some helium and dust. In all the stars, including the sun, hydrogen atom are continuously being converted into helium atoms, and a large amount of nuclear energy in the form of heat and energy is released during the process. It is this heat and light which makes a star shine. Thus, a star is a hydrogen nuclear energy France so big that it holds together by itself. The stars are classified according to their physical characteristic like size, colors, brightness, and temperature. Stars are of three colors: red, white, and blue. The color of the star is determined by its surface temperature. The stars which have the comparatively low surface temperature are red. The star having high surface temperature are white, whereas those stars have very high surface temperature are blue on color. Some of the important example of the star are pole or Polaris, Sirius, Vega, Capella, Alpha, Alpha Centuria, Beta Centuria, Proxima Centuria, Spica, Regulus, Placidus, Aldebaran, Arcturus, Betelgeuse, and of course the Sun. All the stars except the pole star appear to move from the east to west in the night sky. This can be explained as follow. The Earth itself rotates on its axis from the west to east. So when the Earth rotate on its axis, the west to east, the stars appears to move in the opposite direction from the east to west. Thus, the apparent motion of the stars in the sky is due to the rotation of the Earth on its axis. Since we are ourselves on the Earth, the Earth appears to be stationary to us, but the stars appear to be moving in the sky. Thus, it is due to the rotation of Earth on its axis that we see the stars changing their position in the night. As the night uh, as the night progresses. And now our topic number 4.1: Earth and the evolution of a star. The raw material for the formation of a star is mainly hydrogen gas and some helium gas. The cycle of a star begins with a gathering of hydrogen gas and helium gas present in the galaxies to form dense cloud of these gases. The stars are then formed by the gravitational collapse of these over dense cloud of gases in the galaxy. Let us deal the various stages in the formation of a star. Topic number 1.1.1: Formation of protostar. In the beginning, the gas in the galaxies were mainly hydrogen and some helium. However, they were at a low temperature of about minus 173 degrees centigrade. Since the gases were very cold, they formed very dense cloud in the galaxies. In addition, the gas was very large, so the gravitational pull between the various gases molecules were quite large. Due to the large gravitational force, the gas cloud started contracting as a whole. Ultimately, the gas were compressed so much that they formed a highly condensed object called protostar. A protostar looks like a huge dark ball of gases. The formation of protostar is only a stage in the formation of a complete star. A protostar does not emit light. The next stage consists in the transformation of this highly of this highly condensed object called the protostar into a star which emits light. Topic number 4.1.2, formation of a star from the protostar. A protostar is highly dense gaseous mass which continues to contrast further due to the tremendous gravitational force. As the protostar begins to contrast further, the hydrogen atom present in a gas cloud collide with one another for more frequency. These collisions of the hydrogen atom raise the temperature of protostar more and more. The process of the contracting of protostar continues for about a million years, during which the inner temperature of the protostar increases from a mere minus 100 degrees centigrade in the beginning of about 10 to power 7 degrees centigrade at process for four hydrogen nuclei fuse to produce a bigger helium nucleus, and a tremendous amount of energy is produced in the form of the heat and light. The energy produced during the fusion of hydrogen to form helium makes the protostar glow and it becomes a star. This star shines steadily for a very long time. Final stage of a star's life. In the first part of the final stage of its life, a star enters the red giant phase, where it becomes a red giant star. After that, depending on its mass, the red giant star can die out to become red giant star. After that, sorry, डाई के बाद क्या था, डाई आउट of becoming a white dwarf star or exploding as a supernova star, which ultimately end in the formation of neutron stars and black holes. First, red giant phase. Initially, the stars contain mainly hydrogen. With the passage of time, hydrogen get converted into helium from the center outward. Now, when all the hydrogen present in the core of the star get converted into helium, then the fusion reaction in the core would stop. Therefore, ultimately, the matter is in the core of the star would consist only of helium. Due to the stoppage of the fusion reaction, the pressure inside the core of the star would diminish, and the core would begin to shrink under its own gravity. In the outer shell or envelope of the stars, however, some hydrogen still remains. The fusion reactions would continue to liberate energy, but with much reduced intensity. Due to all these changes, and the overall equilibrium in the stars is upset, and in order to readjust it, the stars has to expand considerably in its exterior regions, outer regions. Thus, the stars become very big. It's become giant, becomes a giant, and it is a color changes to red. At the stage, the star enters the red giant phase, and it is said to become a red giant star. Our own star, the sun, expanding our sun will ultimately turns into red giant after about 5,000 million years from now. The expanding outer shell of the sun will then become so big that it will uh, engulf the inner planet like Mercury and Venus and even the Earth. When a star reaches the red giant phase, its future depend on its initial mass. The two cases arises. First, if the initial mass of the star is comparable to that of the sun, then the red giant star loses its expanding outer shell and its core shrink to form a white dwarf star, which which ultimately dies out as a dense lump of matter into the space. If the initial mass of the star is much more than of the sun, then the red giant star formed from the exploded explodes in the form of the supernova star, and the core of this exploding supernova star can shrink to form a neutron star or black hole. Formation of white dwarf stars. If the mass of the red giant star is similar to that of the sun, the red giant star would lose its expanding outer shell or envelope, because then the comparatively smaller amount of hydrogen fuel present in it will be used up rapidly, and only the core of the uh, red giant star will gradually shrink into extremely dense wall of sorry then the comparatively one only the core आज स्टार्ट तो फ्रॉम बिकॉज देन द अब मैं दोबारा थोड़ा पढ़ रहा हूँ ये वाला टॉपिक फॉर्मेशन ऑफ वाइट ड्रॉप वाला फॉर्मेशन ऑफ वाइट ड्रॉप स्टार इफ द मास ऑफ द रेड जाइंट स्टार इज सिमिलर टू दैट ऑफ द सन द रेड जाइंट स्टार वुड लूज it expanding outer shell or evolve, because then the comparatively smaller amount of hydrogen fuel present in it will be used to rapidly, and uh, 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 smaller amount of hydrogen fuel present in it will used rapidly, and only the core of the red giant star will gradually shrink into the extremely dense of matter due to gravitation. Because of this enormous shrinking of helium core, the temperature of core would rise greatly, and the star another set of nuclear fusion reaction in sorry rapidly, and which helium is converted into heavier element like carbon, and an extremely large amount of energy will be released when the mass of a star is similar to the mass of the sun. शॉर्ट आई थिंक फिर से गलत हो गया, ये मैं दोबारा से रिपीट कर दे रहा ये पूरा वाला। ये जो वाइट ड्रॉप वाला टॉपिक था मैं फिर से पढ़ दे रहा हूँ, क्योंकि ये थोड़ी यहाँ पे दिक्कत हो गई लाइट की, तो वैसे मैं दोबारा से पढ़ दे रहा हूँ। फॉर्मेशन ऑफ द वाइट ड्रॉप स्टार इफ द मास ऑफ द रेड जाइंट स्टार इज सिमिलर टू दैट ऑफ द सन, द रेड जाइंट स्टार वुड लूज इट एक्सपेंडिंग आउटर सेल और इन envelope, because then the comparatively smaller amount of hydrogen fuel present in it will be used as rapidly, and only the core of the red giant star will gradually sink into an extremely dense ball of matter due to gravitation. Because of this enormous shrinking of helium core, the temperature of core would rise greatly and start another set of nuclear fusion reaction in which helium is converted into heavier element like carbon, and an extremely large amount of energy will be released when the mass of a star is similar to the mass of the sun, which is comparatively a small mass. Then all the helium is converted into carbon in a short time, and then further fusion reactions stop completely. Now, as the energy being produced inside the star stop, the core of the star contrasts, sinking under its own weight, and it's become a white dwarf star. A great Indian scientist, Chandrasekhar, made a detailed study of the star, which and their lives by becoming a white dwarf stars. Chandrasekhar conducted that the star having a mass less than 1.44 times the solar mass or the sun's mass would end up as a white dwarf star. The maximum limit of 1.44 times the solar mass for a star to end its life as a white dwarf is known as the Chandrasekhar limit. If, however, a star has a mass more than 1.44 meter the solar mass or the sun's mass, then it will not die but out by becoming a white dwarf star. This is because due to greater mass, it will have more nuclear fuel in it, which will not get exhausted in a short time. The stars having mass much more than solar mass or sun's mass lead to supernova explosion and end their lives by becoming a neutron star or black holes. This point will become clear from the following discussion. Topic number 1.4.1.4, formation of supernova and neutron star. When a very big star is in the red giant phase, then being big, its core contains much more helium. This big core made up of helium continue to contrast sink under the action of gravity, producing higher and higher temperature. At this extremely high temperature, fusion of helium into carbon takes place in the core, and lot of energy is produced. Think the star was big and contained numerous nuclear fuels, helium, so a tremendous amount of nuclear energy is produced very rapid, which cause the outer shell or envelope of this red giant star to explode with a brilliant flash like a nuclear bomb. This type of exploding star is called the supernova. The energy released in a second of supernova explosion is equal to the energy released by sun in about 100 years. In tremendous energy would light up the sky many days. When a supernova explosion take place, then the cloud of gases in the envelope of a red giant star are liberate into space, and these gases act as raw material for the formation of new stars. The heavy core left behind after supernova explosion continues to contrast and ultimately become a neutron star. If a mass of a star was 1.44 times to 3 times the sun or black hole. If the mass of a star was more than 3 times the sun, a neutron star contains matter in even denser form than found in white dwarf star. Although the number of white dwarfs have been detached, but no one has yet observed a neutron star. This may be because neutron stars are very faint. A spinning neutron a star emit radio waves, and it's called pulsar. Topic number 5, black hole. A black hole is an object with such a strong gravitational field and even light cannot escape from its surface. A black hole may be formed when a massive object, very big object, undergoes uncontrollable contrast, a collapse because of the inward pull of its own gravity. We will now describe how the black hole are formed from the neutron star after the supernova explosion of big stars. When a supernova explosion of a very massive star take place, then the gaseous matter present in the outer shell or envelope of the star is scattered into space, but the core of the star survived during the supernova explosion. This heavy this heavy core of supernova star continue to contrast, shrink, and become a neutron star. The fate of the neutron star depend on its mass. If the neutron star is very heavy, then due to enormous gravitational attraction attraction, it would continue to contrast infinitely, and the vast amount of matter present in a neutron star would be ultimately packed into a mere point project. Such an indefinitely dense object dense object is called black hole. Thus, the black hole are formed by infinite contraction of heavy neutron stars under the action of their own gravity. The neutron stars shrink so much and become so dense that the resulting black hole do not allow anything to escape, not even light from their surface. This is because the black hole have tremendous gravitational force. Since even light cannot escape from the black hole, therefore black hole are invisible. They cannot be seen. The presence of black hole can felt only by the effect of its gravitational field on its neighboring object in the sky. For example, if we see a star moving in a circle with no other visible star in the center, then we can conclude that there is a black hole at the center, and it is a gravitational pull exercised by the black hole which is making the stars goes in the circle around it. Dark matter. Dark matter is a type of matter hypothesized in astronomy and cosmology to account for a large part of the mass that appear to be missing from our universe. Dark matter cannot be seen directly with the telescope. Eventually, it neither emit or nor absorb light or other electromagnetic radiation at any significant level. Dark matter is not exactly black hole. The composition of the constituent of cold dark matter is currently unknown. It could be group of black holes drops or some new particles. Now the next topic is solar system. The solar system consists of the sun, the eight planet and their satellite, and thousands of the other smaller heavenly bodies such as asteroids, comets, and the meteorites. The solar system is at distance of about 27,000 light year from the center of the Milky Way galaxy, and it's about 5 billion years old. The sun is at the center of the solar system, and all these bodies are revolving around it. The gravitational pull of the sun keeps all the solar system and all the planets and other object revolving around it. Thus, the motion of all the member of the solar system is governed by mainly the gravitational force of the sun. The solar system is dominated by the sun. On the sun account for almost 99.9% of the matter in the whole solar system. The sun is also the source of the all energy in the solar system. The sun. So, topic number 6.1. The sun is the head of the solar family or the solar system. Compared with the millions of other stars, the sun is a medium-sized star, and the average brightness through the sun is the nearest star to the earth. Even then, it is at a distance of 150 into 10 to the power 6 kilometer from the earth, and the light traveled at a great traveling at a great speed of 1300,000 kilometer per second takes about 8 minutes and 20 seconds to reach us from the sun. However, light takes about 4.3 years to reach us from the next nearest star called Proxima Centauri. The sun is not a solid body. The sun is a sphere of hot gases. It consists mostly of hydrogen gases. The nuclear fusion reaction takes place in the center of the sun, in which hydrogen is converted into helium, produce a tremendous amount of energy in the form of heat and light. It is the energy which makes the sun shine from the earth. We see the only surface of the sun. The shining surface of the sun is called the photosphere. The surface of the sun photosphere appear like a bright disk to us. It is also known as a disk of the sun. It is the bright shining disk of the sun or photosphere which radiate energy and act as a source of energy for us. The temperature at the sun or the temperature of the bright disk of the sun is about 6000 degrees centigrade. The temperature at the center of the sun is about 15 million degrees centigrade. The outer layer of the sun's atmosphere is made of thin hot gases is called corona. The corona is a visible only during a total eclipse of the sun. Topic number 6.2. Planet are the solid heavenly bodies which revolve around the sun Example: the sun is a closed elliptical path. A planet is made of rock and metal. It has no light of it. A planet shines because it reflects the light of the sun. Since the planets are much nearer than the stars, they appear to be big and do not twinkle at night. The planet move around the sun from the west to east, so the relative position of the planets keep changing day by day. Planets are very small as compared to the sun or the other stars. There are eight major planets including the earth. These planets, in order to increasing distance from the sun, are given below. The planets are Mercury, called Buddha, it is the nearest to the sun. Second, Venus, called Shukra, and then Earth is called Prithvi. Mars, called Mangal. Jupiter, called Brihaspati, biggest planet. Saturn, called Sunny. Uranus, called Arun. Neptune, called Varun. IAU, new definition of planet. IAU, the definition of planet is set in 2006 by the International Astronomical Union. IAU stated that in the solar system, a planet is the celestial body which first in is in orbit around the sun, second has sufficient mass to assume hydrostatic equilibrium, a near round shape, and has cleared the neighboring hood around its orbit. For this they become the dominant gravitational body in their orbit in the solar system. Pluto lacks it. Any object if meet the first two criteria but doesn't meet the third criteria is considered a dwarf planet. Thus the Pluto is a dwarf planet. There are the eight planets have been divided into two groups. All the planet of the particular group has some common feature. The two group of planet are first terrestrial planet, second Jovian planet. The four nearer planet to the sun, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, are called a terrestrial planet because of their structure is similar to Earth. The common feature of terrestrial are they have a thin rocky crust. They have a mantle rich in the iron and magnesium. They have a core of heavy metals. They have a thin atmosphere. They have very few natural satellites or moon or no satellites. They have varied terrains such as volcanoes, canyons, mountains, and craters. The planets which are outside the orbit of the Mars are called the Junior planet because of their structure is similar to that of Jupiter. The Jovian planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. The common features of the Jovian planets are: first, they are all gaseous planets made of gases. Second, they have rings system around them. They have a large number of natural satellites. The topic number 6.3 marks a satellite or moon. A satellite or moon is a solid heavenly body that revolves around a planet. The moon revolves around the earth, so the moon is a satellite of the earth. Except Mercury and Venus, all the planet of the solar system have satellite. The satellite has no light of their own. They shine because they reflect the light of the sun. They should be noted or that though we commonly are called Earth's natural satellite as moon, the satellite of all other planets can also be called their moons. Earth's moon key point. First, the moon is a natural satellite of the Earth. Second, the moon revolves around the sun on a definite regular path, the moon orbit. Third, gravitational attraction of the Earth holds the moon in its own orbits. Fourth, the moon is about one fourth the size of the Earth's diameter. The weight is about one eighth that of the Earth. Fifth, moon has no air, no water. Its surface is covered with the hard and loose dirt, craters, and mountains. Six, on the moon, days are extremely hot and night are very cold. Because of the moon is nearer to the earth, it appears to be much bigger than the stars. The moon has no light of its own. It is light from the sun which is reflected by the moon's surface. Origin of the moon. In 1938, Sir George Darwin suggested that initially the Earth and the Moon formed a single rapidly rotating body. The whole mass became a dumbbell-shaped body, and eventually it broke. It was also suggested that the material forming the Moon was separated from what we have at present. The depression occupied by a Ocean. However, the present scientists do not accept either of the explanation. It is now generally believed that the formation of the moon is as a satellite of the earth is an outcome of giant impact of or what is described as a big splat, a body of a size of 1 to 3 times that of mass collide into Earth sometime shortly after the Earth are formed. It blasts a large part of the Earth into space. The first portion is blast of blasted material, then continued to orbit at the Earth and eventually formed into present Moon about 4.44 billion year ago. The other object in the sky, in addition to the stars, planet, and satellites, there are three other objects which we can occasionally see in the sky during night. These are asteroids, comet, and meteorites. We will discuss all of them one by one. Now, topic number 6.4, asteroids. Asteroids are very small planet of rock and metal which revolve around the sun, mainly between the orbit of Mars and Jupiter. Actually, asteroids are a belt of kind of debris which somehow failed to assemble into a planet and keeps revolving between the orbit of Mars and Jupiter. There may be many as 10 100,000 asteroids. The bigger asteroids called Ceres that has a diameter of about 800 kilometer, whereas the smallest asteroid is a small pebble. Some expert believe that the asteroids are pieces of planets that went close to the Jupiter and was broke up by the gravitational pull. Others think that they are part of a ring of separate pieces of matter formed at the same time as the planets. Sometimes asteroids can collide with the Earth. Though the collision of an asteroid with the Earth happens very rarely, even then, a careful watch is kept on a motion of the asteroids by the astronomers. This is because of collision of an asteroid with the Earth can cause a lot of damage to life and property on the Earth. In fact, the extension of dangerous the Earth, which occurred about 65 million years ago, it believed to have been caused by the collision of some asteroid with the Earth. When the asteroid collide with the Earth, then a huge crater is formed on the surface of the Earth. Many such collisions of the asteroid must have occurred in the past during the entire history of the Earth, which may have caused craters of different sizes on its surface. However, the natural process of soil erosion, like wind, rain, tend to be fill up their craters is due to course of time. Only a few craters survived on the surface of the earth so far. The lunar lake in the Maharashtra is a one such crater formed by the collision of asteroid with the earth. Topic number 6.5, comets. According to new definition, Neptune is the outermost planet of the solar system. However, its orbit does not mark the boundary of the solar system. The solar system extends much beyond at the edges of the solar system. There are billions of small objects called comets. These comets are were formed very early from the same gas from the cloud, which other member of the co- which of the other cooler system solar system were made. These comets are so far off the normally they cannot be seen. They keep on revolving around the sun unknown to the world. Sometimes, however, the normally path of the comet is disturbed and the comet start moving toward the sun. As the comet approaches, the sun is develop a long growing tail and become visible only when it approaches the sun because the sun rays makes it gas glow which spread out to form a tail millions of kilometers long, and its present a spectacular sight. Thus, a comet is a collection of gas and dust which appears as a bright ball of light and in the sky with a long glowing tail. The tail of a comet always point away from the sun. Comet revolve around the sun like planet. The period of revolution of comet around the sun is, however, very large. For example, Halley's comet has a period of 776 years. Halley's comet last appeared in the inner solar system in 1986. It will next appear in the mid 2061. Just like asteroid, comet are also a great interest or to scientists. This is because they are made of the same material from the earth from which the whole solar system was made. The study of the tail comet has shown the existence of molecular carbon, oxygen, hydrogen and nitrogen such as COCH4 and SCN on it. Since these simple molecules help to form complex molecules necessary for the origin of the life. Some scientists have suggested that the seed of the life on the earth were brought by the comet or the from the outer surface. Comet do not last forever. Each time a comet passes the sun, it loses some of its gas. Ultimately, the dust particles are left in the space. When these particles enter into the earth's atmosphere, they burn up due to the heat produced by air resistance and the produce of power of meteor or the shooting stars. Meteorites. Topic number 6.6 meteorites. Many times we see a streak of light in the sky during the night, which disappear within a second. It is called meteorites. A shooting star. A meteorite are heavenly bodies from the skies there, which we see as a bright streak of a light that flashes for a moment across the sun from the sky. The meteor are also called shooting stars. Some meteorites are the dust particles which left behind by the comet, and the other are pieces of asteroid which have collided when a meteorite enter into atmosphere of Earth with high speed. A lot of heat is produced due to resistance of air. The heat burn the meteorites, and burning meteorites is seen in the form of a streak of light shooting down the sky, and it fall on the earth in the form of dust. If a meteorite is a big part of it may reach the earth's surface without being burned up in the air. This fragment is called the meteorite. Thus, a meteor which does not burn completely or entering the earth's atmosphere and land on the earth is not a meteorite. Meteorites are a sort of stones from the sky. By studying the composition of the meteorites, we can get valuable information about the nature of the material from which the solar system was formed. It should be noted that the number of the meteorites striking the moon's surface is quite large, whereas very few meteorites reach the earth's surface. This is due to the fact the moon has no atmosphere to burn out the falling meteorites by producing the frictional heat. The second seven topic number seven, the shape of the earth. In ancient time, people believed that the shape of the earth was flat and it had steep edges. Today we know that the earth is almost spherical. However, it is not a perfect sphere, rather an oblate asteroid, bulging slightly at the equator and flattening slightly at the poles. The difference between the equatorial diameter and the polar diameter is less than 14 kilometer. The diameter of the earth is 12,756 kilometer at the equator, whereas it is 12,712 kilometer between the poles. This is due to the centrifugal force caused by the earth rotation around its axis. This difference is insufficient, and thus for all practical purposes the earth is taken as a spherical in shape. The view that the Earth is spherical in shape was first forwarded by the famous Greek philosopher Pythagoras in 6th century, but people did not believe him. Later, Aristotle, Vara, Baramira, Aryabhatta, and Copernicus also opined that the Earth is spherical in shape. Topic number 7.1, Evidences of the Earth's sphericity. There are many ways to prove that the Earth is spherical. The following are some of them. The sun of the other planet is in the solar system or all spherical in shape. If the earth was flat, then the all places on earth would have the sun rises exactly at the same time. If we watch a ship approaching the land, first we see the smoke of the ship as the entire ship lies below the lines of sight, and gradually the entire ship as it goes up over the horizon. If the earth was flat, we would have been able to see the whole ship at a time. A circular shadow observed during the lunar eclipse can only be cast by the spherical body. If you look around from any place where a mountain, a level plain on or a top of very tall building, the horizon will always appear circular. This is possible only a case of spherical body. Magellan's circumnavigation in the 1520s proved that the Earth is a sphere in shape. Engineers, when driving poles of equal length at a regular interval on a ground, have found that they do not give a perfect horizontal level. The center pole normally projects slightly above the poles at either end because of curvature of the earth. Uh, Nowadays, when you can see the earth is a true perspective from the outer space, the fact that the shape of the earth is spherical, no need for no further proof. A Goldilocks zone, a habitable zone, or called Goldilocks zone, is the region around the stars where the orbit planets similarly to the Earth can support liquid water. It is neither too hot nor too cold. Scientists hunting for the life in the solar system and around the other star believe that a liquid water is an important ingredient necessary for the life. In September 2010, astronauts using the Crix telescope announced they had found an exoplanet, Gliese 581 G square, about three times the size of the Earth, is the habitative zone of its star. The Earth is a unique planet because it sustains life. Here are some more details. First, the Earth lies between the orbit of Venus and the Mars, and the average distance from the Sun is about 148 million kilometers. This gives it the op- uh, op- optimum location with the reference to the distance from the Sun. It is neither too hot like Venus nor too cold like Mars, and the outer planet the average temperature is about 70 degrees centigrade on the side facing the sun. Second, the earth has a favorable environment and the present optimum condition for the origin, growth, and survival of various life forms. If the heat received from the sun in a solution increase or decrease by about 10%, then a very large part of the earth would become unsuitable for the living organism. The rotation of the earth around its axis help in keeping extreme temperature between day and night will within a tolerable limit. The presence of adequate quantity of water in the ocean, seas, gulf, rivers, lakes, etc. is a unique feature of our planet. Water occupies about 71% of the total surface of the earth. These water bodies provide ideal conditions for the origin and evolution of the various life forms. The water cycle maintains the continuous flow of water on earth. The atmosphere acts as a shield as a protect our planet from the harmful ultraviolet rays coming from the sun. The atmosphere also absorbs terrestrial radiation from the Earth's surface and thus keep the Earth comparatively warmer during the night and time, and also during the winter season. The presence of the oxygen in the atmosphere has made the life possible on Earth as essential for respiration and survival of all living organisms. The Earth movement. The Earth movement, origin of life on Earth. Modern scientists refer to the origin of the life as a kind of chemical reaction which first generated complex organic molecule and assembled them. This resemblage was such that they could duplicate themselves, converting inanimate matter into living substance. The record of life that exists on a planet is different period is found in the rock or in the form of fossil, and the microscopic structure closely related to the present form of blue algae have found in a geological formation that are much older than these were some 3000 million years ago. It can be assumed that the life began to evolve sometimes 3800 million year ago. The summary of the evolution of the earth from the unicellular bacteria to the modern man is given is a geological time scale on the last page. In the solar system, the Earth is a spherical relation with the sun. With the sun and the moon, the Earth revolves around the sun, and the moon revolves around the Earth. The Earth also rotates on that axis. These motions of the Earth causes the day, night, and season, tides, eclipse, etc. Day and night. Topic number seven. इसका इसी का सब topic है. Topic number 7.2.1, day and night. When the Earth rotates on its axis, only one portion of it Earth's surface comes into the ray of the sun and experience daylight, and the other portion, which is away from the sun, will remain be in darkness. As the Earth rotates from the west to east, every part of the Earth surface will brought under the sun at the some time or the other. A part of the sun's earth surface that emerge from the darkness into the sun's ray experience sunrise later, when it gradually obscures from the sun is in fact stationary, and it is the earth which rotates. The illusion is exactly the same as when we travel in fast moving train. The trees around us appear to move and we feel the train is stationary. Topic number 7.2.2, the Earth revolution. When the Earth revolves around the Sun if it spin on an elliptical orbit, and one complete revolution takes 365 mixed 1 upon 4 day on a year. As it is not possible to show a quarter of a day in the calendar, a normal year is taken to be 365 days, and extra day is added every 4 years as it the leap year. The Earth rotates once in about 24 hours with respect to the Sun, and the once every 23 hours 56 minutes and 4 seconds with respect to the Sun. This is the reason why the starts 4 minutes early. Every next day, the Earth rotation is showing slightly with time. Thus, our day is shorter in the past. This is due to the tidal effect of the moon. Has the light rotate the Earth rotate atomic clock, so that the modern day is longer by the about 1.7 millisecond than the a century year ago. A leap second are used to synchronize atomic clock. Topic number 7.2.3, varying length of the day and night. The axis of the Earth is inclined to the plane to the ecliptic. The plane is in which the Earth orbit around the Sun at an angle of 66 1 mixed 2 degree gives rise to the different season and varying length of the day and night. If the axis were perpendicular to the plane, all the part of the globe would have equal would have equal day and night all at all times of the year. But we know that this is not so in the hemisphere in winter. As we go northward, the hours of darkness steadily increasing at the Arctic Circle, the number of the day with the complete darkness increasing until we reach the North Pole, when the half the year will be have darkness. The summer June condition are exactly reversed. Daylight increases as we go poleward at the Arctic Circle. The sun never set at the mid summer 21st June, and there is a complete 24-hour period of continuous daylight in the summer. The region north of the Antarctic Circle is popularly referred to as the land of the midnight sun. At the North Pole, there will be a 6 month of continuous daylight. In the southern hemisphere, the same process take place. Expect that the condition are reversed when it is summer in a northern hemisphere. The southern condition will experience winter. Midsummer at the North Pole will be midwinter at the South Pole. Topic number 7.2.4. The altitude of the midday sun. In the course of a year, the Earth revolution around the sun with its axis inclined at 66 half to the 66 one mixed 1 upon 2 to the plane of the eclipse changes the apparent altitude of the midday sun. The sun is particularly overhead at the equator on 2 day each year. These are usually 21 March and 21 September. Through the date changes because a year is not exactly 365 days. These 2 days are termed equinoxes, meaning an equal night, because on these 2 days all part of the world have equal equal day and night. After the March equinox, the sun appeared to move north, and it's vertically overhead a topic at the Tropic of Cancer 20 on about 21st June. This is known as the June or the solstice, when the northern hemisphere will have its longest day and the shortest night. By about 22nd December, the sun will oversee overhead at the Tropic of Cancer Capricorn. This is a winter solstice, when the southern hemisphere will have its longest day and the shortest night. The tropics thus marks the limit of the overhead sun. For the beyond these, the sun is never overheaded at any time of the year. Such reasons are marked by the distinct season changes: spring, summer, autumn, winter. Beyond the Arctic circle and the Antarctic Circle, where darkness lasts for 6 months and daylight is continued for the remaining half of the year. It is always cold, for even during the short summer the sun is the never high in the sky. Within the tropics, as the midday sun varies very little from its vertical position at noon daily. At the four season are almost equal all the year round. Topic number 7.2.5. Seasonal changes and their effect on temperature. Summer is usually associated with much heat and brightness, and the winter with cold and darkness. Why should this be so? In summer, the sun is higher in the sky than in winter. When the sun is overheaded, its ray fall almost vertically on the earth, concentrating its heat on the small area. Temperature therefore rises, and the summer are always warmer. In winter, the oblique ray of the sun comes through comes through the atmosphere less directly and have much of their heat absorbed by the atmosphere impurities and water vapor. The sun's ray fall faintly and spread over a great area. There is thus a little heat, and temperature remains low. In addition, days are longer than nights in summer, and more heat is receives over the longer daylight duration. Night are shorter and less heat is lost. There is a net gain in the total heat received and temperature rise in summer, shorter day and longest night in winter account for the reverse effect. Topic number 7.2.6. Dawn and the twilight. The brief period between the sunrise and the full day night is called dawn, and the that between the sunset completely darkness is turned at twilight. This is caused by the fact that during the period the day and the twilight, the twilight and the earth receives diffused or reflecting light from the sun whitelist. It is still below the horizon, since the sun rises and sets in a vertical path at the equator. This period during which refracted light is received in its short, but in temperature latitude the sun rises and sets in an oblique path, and the period of refracting light is longer. It is much longer still at the point poles, so that the winter darkness is really only twilight most of the time. Topic number 7.2.7. Eclipse. An eclipse occurs when the sun, the earth, and the moon are in a straight line in the plane of ecliptic. When the earth obstruct the ray of the sun from the reaching the face of the moon get eclipsed. When the moon hides the face of the sun, then it an eclipse of the sun. At any time, the sun is able to light one half of the earth's surface, which is facing the sun. The other half, which is turned away from the sun, is darkness. Topic number 7.2.7.1. Lunar eclipse. At lunar eclipse will occurs only when the sun, the earth, and the moon are in a straight line, and the earth lies between the sun and the moon. Thus is the possible on a full moon day, but a lunar eclipse does not occur on every full moon day, as these three bodies have to be in a plane of eclipse. First, if the moon is directly in the plane of the eclipse, a total lunar eclipse will occur. If the moon is close to the plane of the eclipse, a partial lunar eclipse will occur. If the moon is far away above or far below the plane of eclipse, no eclipse will occur. Topic number 7.2.7.2. A solar eclipse. A solar eclipse will occur only when the sun, the earth, and the moon are in a straight line, and the moon lies between the sun and the earth. This is the possible on a new moon day, but the solar eclipse does not occur on every new moon day, as their three bodies have to be in the plane of eclipse. First, if the moon is directly in the plane of the eclipse, a total solar eclipse will occur. Second, if the moon is close to the plane of eclipse, a partial solar eclipse will occur. Third, if the moon is far away for below the plane of ecliptic, no eclipse will occur. The diamond ring effect is visual phenomena that occurs during a total solar eclipse. It is seen from the earth when standing in the umbra of the moon's shadow, and the occur as a part of a valley weed. Valley weeds are the glimmer of the sun's brightness surface, the photosphere, which shine as a dot of the light around the disk of the lunar shadow. When the one beds remain momentarily, the view of the eclipse resembles a diamond ring. The ring is produced as a sun's less bright chroma layer, and the other atmosphere structure remains demi visible as a solid ring, which is dazzlingly dots of photosphere signs at the edges. The geographical grid, latitude and longitude. The Earth's surface is so vast that unless the mathematical method can be used, it is impossible to locate any place on it. For the reason, imaginary lines have been drawn on a globe, one set running east to west and parallel to the equator are called the latitude. The other set of the other side of the runs north and the south passing through the poles and are called the lines or longitude. The intersecting of the latitude and longitude pinpoint any place on the earth surface. For example, Delhi is 28 degrees 37 minutes north, and the 77 degree 10 minutes east. Topic number 8.1, latitude. Latitude is the angular distance of a point on the earth's surface measured in degree from the center of the earth. It is a parallel to a line, the equator, which lies midway between the poles. These lines are therefore called the parallel of the latitude. On a globe are actually circle, becoming smaller pole words. The equator represent 0 degree centigrade, and the north and the south poles are 90 degree north and 90 degree south. Between these pointed lines are of latitude are drawn in an interval of 1 degree. For precise location on a map, each degree is subdivided into 60 minutes and each minute into 60 seconds. The most important lies of the latitude are the equator, the Tropic of Cancer, and the Tropic of Capricorn, the Arctic Circle, and Antarctic Circle. As the Earth is slightly flattened as the poles, the linear distance of the degree latitude at the poles is little longer than that the equator. For example, at the equator 0 degree, it is 68.704 miles. At the 45 degree centigrade, it is 16.054 miles, and at the poles it is 69.407 miles. The average it take as 69 miles. This is a useful figure, can be used to calculate the distance to any place. Mumbai is 88.55 degree north. It is therefore 88 0.55 or 66 on 1218 miles from the equator. Longitude. Longitude is the angular distance measured in degree along the equator, east or west of the prime median on the globe. Latitude is shown in as a series of semicircles that run from poles to poles, passing through the equator. Such as lines are also called meridians. Unlike equators, which is centrally placed between the poles, any medium could have been taken to uh, begin the numbering of the latitude. It was finally decided in 1884 by international agreement to choose as the zero meridian that the one which passes through the Royal Astronomical Observatory at Greenwich near London. This is the prime meridian from which all the other meridian radiant easternward and the westward up to the 180 degree. Since the earth is spherical and has a circumference calculated at 25,000 miles in a linear distance, each of 360 degree 300 degree of longitude is 25,000 upon 360 or 69.1 miles. As the parallel of latitude becomes shorter poleward, so the meridian of the longitude which converge at the poles enclose a narrower space. The degree of longitude therefore degree in length. It is a longest at the equator, where it measures 69.172 miles. At 25 degrees centigrade, it is 62.73 miles. At 45 degree, it is 49 miles. At 75 degree 18 miles, and at the poles 0 miles. There is so much difference in the length of degree of longitude outside the tropic that they are not used for the calculating distance as in the case of the latitude, but they have one very important function. They determine the location time in relation to GMT or Greenwich Mean Time, which is sometimes referred to as a world time. A topic number 8.3, longitude and the time. Local time. Since the earth make a one complete revolution of 360 degree, in which in one day or 24 hours it is passes through 50 degree in 1 hour, or 1 degree in 4 minutes. The earth rotates from the west to east, so every 50 degree. We go eastward. The local time is advanced by 1 hour. Conversely, if we go westward, local time is regarded to by 1 hour. We may thus conclude that the place east of Greenwich see the dune earlier and gain time, whereas the place of west of the Greenwich see the sun later and the lose time. If we know the GMT to find local time, we merely have to add subtract the difference in the numbers of hours from the given latitude as illustrated between below. A simple memory aid for which east gains add EGA and the west lose subtract WLS. You could coin your own rhyme for the abbreviation. Hence, when we at noon in London latitude 0 degree 5 west, the local time of for Chennai 80 degree east will be 5 hours 20 minutes ahead of London, or 5:20 p.m. But the local time for the New York 74 degree west will be 4 hours 56 minutes behind the London for, or 7.74 a.m. 8.4 topic number standard time and time zones. If we town were to keep the time of its own meridian, would be much different in local time between one town and the other. 10 a.m. in Georgetown, Penang would be 10.10 in Kota Bharu, a difference of 20 to half degree in latitude in the larger countries such as Canada, USA, China, and India and Russia. The confusion arising from the different along would driving the people mad traveling going from one end to the country or to the other would have to keep their appointment. This is appreciable and very inconvenience. To avoid these difficulties, a system of standard time is observed by all countries. Most countries adopt their standard time from the central meridian of their country. The Indian government has accepted the median of 82.5 east for the standard time, which is in 5 hour 13 minutes ahead of Greenwich meridian. The whole world has in fact been divided into 24 standard time zones, each of which differ from the next by the 50 degree in the longitude or 1 hour in the time. Most countries adhere or to this division, but due to peculiar shape and location of the time, most countries adhere to the division, but due to the perical shape and location of the some countries, reasonable deviation from the standard time zones cannot be avoided. Larger part like USA, Canada, Russia, which has a greater east west stretch and have adopted uh, 969 time zones respectively for practical purposes. Daylight saving time DST is a change in the standard time with the purpose of getting better use of the daylight. Typically, clock and adjust forward 1 hour near the starts of spring and are adjust backward in the autumn. Although it has only been used in the past 100 years, the idea of DST was first conveyed many years before. A nine geological time scale. The Earth is believed to be above 4.5 billion years ago. The 4.5 billion year ago history of the Earth is divided into four era: Precambrian, Paleozoic, Mesozoic, and the Cenozoic. The pre-Cenozoic has been longest era in the Earth history, and it's continued from the origin of the Earth about 600 million year ago. From the today, the eras were divided into the period, and the period are divided into the. Here we just complete our the topic. A brief account of the geological history of the Earth is given in the following: Accounts, eras, period, approaches, ages before the and the major event. Here we just complete our first main unit.